strack off. That's what furious Australians are going to be saying to Prince Harry and Meghan Markle after this astonishing leak has just proved that the couple have been lying about the security costs on next week's fake royal tour.
Why on earth should these two be given taxpayer-funded security in the first place? They are no longer working royals.
Australian viewers of the Mark Dolan show don't want to see Harry and Meghan. The reason why it went down well in 2018, Paul, is because the Australian public didn't know Meghan Markle very well. Well, they know her now. And what do they know her to be? A gold-digging grifter.
40,705 Australians and counting. That's the live number sitting on a change.org petition right now, and the message couldn't be clearer. The banner says it straight: we don't want you here. No filter, no soft language, just blunt rejection. In just one day alone, 758 new names were added, and the target? Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. The full title doesn't hold back either. No taxpayer funding or official support for Harry and Meghan's private visit to Australia. Here's where it gets interesting. This petition didn't explode overnight. It was launched back on November 14th.
These two are literally living a fantasy now. There's no royal visit. They don't even have a charity. This is all just a private money-making tour.
2025 by a Sydney-based group called Beyond Australia, and for months it barely moved. Around 200 signatures, quiet, almost invisible. Then suddenly something flipped. Mid-March hits and the numbers start jumping. 10,000, then 30,000, now over 40,000. That's not a slow build. That's momentum kicking in hard. Behind the scenes, Beyond Australia pushed it further. They went straight to Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, NSW Premier Chris Minns, and Victoria's Premier Jacinta Allen with one simple question.
Can I just tell you that Australia has tackled illegal immigration very successfully, and I think given the fact that Harry and Meghan are on their way, I think it's time to reactivate Operation Sovereign Borders, Paul. Airstrikes, get the boats out.
Will a single taxpayer dollar go toward this trip? And the response, silence or distance. The Prime Minister's office said no involvement. Home Affairs backed away too. The Australian Federal Police refused to comment, and not a single major politician has stepped up to defend the visit. Not one? Now let's be real. 40,000 signatures in a country of 26 million isn't some nationwide uprising, but don't downplay it either. It's loud enough to make every politician look the other way. And that kind of silence changes everything. Because back in 2018, the whole narrative was different. Australia loved them, huge crowds, massive support, no pushback. That image, it just took a hit. And it happened on a petition page. And here's the real problem.
Australians don't want them there, they're not interested, and they've raised a petition in Australia to say, look, if they do come, free country, but if they do come, they're coming as private citizens. This is not a royal tour, and we do not want a single penny of Australian taxpayers' money spent on the police protecting these.
It doesn't look like anyone on their side has even noticed yet. October 17th, 2018, Dubbo, New South Wales. Prince Harry stands in pouring rain. No umbrella, no cover, just out there speaking to drought-hit farmers at a completely free event. Anyone could show up, and thousands did. And his message that day? You must not silently suffer. Asking for help was one of the best decisions I ever made. That moment was real, raw, accessible. Now hold that image because this is where things start to shift. Fast forward to April 15th to 16th, 2026. Melbourne Park, same man, same country, same mental health theme, but this time it's the Inter-Edge Psychosocial Safety Summit. The event supports Lifeline, a respected prevention charity and let's be clear, nothing here is aimed at them. The real question is something else entirely. The ticket prices, Platinum Access, 2,378 Australian dollars. Gold, 1,978. That's not exactly open to anyone anymore, is it? And then, just 9 days before the event,
Can't imagine why nobody's going, can you? I mean, it sounds so interesting, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sounds so interesting. From a man who can't keep an employee to save his life, talking about workplace mental health.
Something interesting happens. 2 new ticket tiers quietly appear on the booking page: a delegate pass for $997 and a virtual pass for $498. Now think about that. The delegate pass undercuts the gold ticket by more than 50%. That's a massive drop, and it raises questions about demand, pricing, or both. IB Times UK picked up on it immediately. But here's the part that stands out. No public comment from the summit organizers, nothing from Harry's team, total silence. And when it comes to actual ticket sales, there's no official data out there. Meanwhile, Sky News Australia reports Harry's speaking fee is around 50,000 Australian dollars, a number that lines up with earlier reports from his appearance at the IAPP Global Privacy Summit in Washington. So the message may sound familiar.
Obviously what's going on here is some guy in Australia has gone, I'm starting up a wellness retreat. Who can I get to come and promote it and see if I can get some publicity for it? I know. I'll ring up the grifters in chief. I'll pay them a couple of £100,000. They'll come to Australia and I'll get loads of publicity, and lots of idiots might go there because they might think it's the home of, celebrity wellness. And that's what it's all about. It's completely a commercial deal. They're trying to make out that it's a semi-royal visit, right? It's not. It's literally hoping against hope that they get a free goodie bag at the end of it that might have a Rolex in it. I mean, it's that shallow.
But the setup, completely different. And here's where it takes another turn. According to Paula Froelich at Inside Scoop on Substack, Harry wasn't even the original choice for this event. Organizers reportedly brought him in as a replacement for Deepak Chopra after Chopra's name showed up in Epstein-related files back in February. Her exact words? More of a Hail Mary. Think about that for a second. The same man who stood in the rain in Dubbo telling struggling farmers that asking for help changed his life is now delivering that exact message from a stage where the cheapest ticket is nearly 1,000 Australian dollars. That contrast is hard to ignore. And let's be clear again, this isn't about Lifeline. The real question is much simpler and a lot more uncomfortable. When did that open, rain-soaked moment turn into a VIP-only room? And who made that call? Because the farmers in Dubbo, they wouldn't even get through the door this time. Now this is where things start to connect.
The PR and the pomp and pageantry almost of being part of the royal family, but they don't really want any of the responsibility, do they? They like to turn up to events, have a few photos taken, look like the charming, lovely people that they wish to present themselves as, and then go home, then go back to California.
And it shifts the entire picture. Lock in one date, October 3rd, 2025. Keep that in your head because it matters more than it seems. Just months later, we see another event pop up. Meghan's Her Best Life Sydney retreat, scheduled for April 17th to 19th at the Intercontinental Coogee Beach. One organizer, one name, Gemma O'Neill. And just to clear the confusion, and not Jackie O from radio, completely different person. In fact, Jackie O. Henderson publicly stepped away from the Her Best Life podcast on February 3rd, distancing herself before this event even took shape. So who's running it?
They need $3 million just to survive each year, just to meet their minimum security needs. So I really think we can't frame this in any other way other than a pay for play, a desperate, grab for cash. And I think that just comes down to it, that they really need the bucks.
O'Neill solo through her company, Besties Australia. Now watch the timeline, because this is where it gets interesting. October 3rd, 2025, that same date, O'Neill purchases a 3-bedroom cottage in Fitzroy Falls, New South Wales. Price tag? 1.025 million Australian dollars. Confirmed through property records, and that's where the sequence really starts to raise eyebrows. Now this is where the timeline starts getting serious. These details aren't rumors. They were confirmed by Daily Mail Australia and GB News. 7 weeks after that October purchase.
Well, he loves it, doesn't he? I mean, that probably is what keeps him going. He's so sad and miserable in his own life because he's basically Meghan's spare handbag that he just feels better when he, slags off, as you said. He loves criticising everybody except for himself.
November 25th, 2025, O'Neill's separate talent company, GMI Agency, enters voluntary liquidation. That's not speculation. That's straight from ASIC public records. Official documents, not whispers. Then it escalates. February 20th, 2026, O'Neill tells administrators she cannot contribute to repayments. Her reasons: no personal savings, limited income, failed refinancing attempt on her Sydney apartment. 4 days later, February 24th, Grant Thornton Australia files the statutory creditors report. Total debts, $546,848 Australian dollars. And here's the part that stands out.
So if you're an online psychotic sycophant of Meghan, you're more than welcome to come. But if you're a professional woman that happens to work in a media career, no, sorry, we'll take your money, then we'll kick you out. It's honestly, this has just got disaster written all over.
$543,548 of that is owed to the Australian Taxation Office. That's almost the entire amount. But it doesn't stop there. Administrators also flagged something much bigger: a 7-figure commission payment to an unnamed key client. And in their own words, it wasn't backed by any documented loan agreement, no clear commercial basis, and no proven benefit to the company. That's a serious red flag. They even noted the agency may have been insolvent as far back as December 2024. Now watch how fast things move next. Just weeks later, March 11th, 2026, O'Neill announces Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, as the headline speaker for a retreat. Ticket price, $2,699 Australian dollars.
Money spinning tawdry event will be for 300 women, and we estimate that Meghan will probably make £100,000 from that weekend. Okay, that's good money for a couple of days.
And this is where you have to slow down and be precise, because legally these are two separate entities: Besties Australia and GMI Agency. On paper, they are not the same, so to be clear, there is no direct claim here that retreat ticket money is going toward GMI creditors. That would be an accusation, and we're not making that. But the question? That's unavoidable, as one News Nation source put it perfectly. Who is actually financing this event? And where is the money going? O'Neill hasn't answered that question publicly, and right around the same time, her personal Instagram disappears. Now imagine watching this unfold from the outside. Someone like Margaret in Melbourne is fully justified asking the obvious question out loud.
I think somehow that Australians are a little naive, a little easy to in as far as flogging her as ever merchandise. I think she thinks we're, hicks down under that won't see through it all and be just so honoured that she's graced us with her spread.
What exactly did Meghan's team check before signing off on this? Because here's what $2,699 Australian dollars actually gets you. 2 nights at the Intercontinental Coogee Beach, a gala dinner, disco night, Saturday lunch, yoga, sound healing meditation led by Gemma O'Neill, and a conversation with Meghan during the gala. Sounds premium, right? Until you hit this detail. That standard package includes a shared bed. Yes, if you're going solo and paying $2,699, you're still expected to share a room with a stranger. That's where it starts to feel off.
The ridiculousness of the petition. He said it was a stupid assertion. In their response, batting back, that Australians had dared to say, hang on a minute, we don't want our money being spent on these two. So they were very, very rude with the reaction. Any other normal person would have been like, oh, look, okay, look, I do understand there are concerns, but we will be paying our own way. No, they came out with quite a combative statement that was very, very rude towards the Australians. Patronising, I would say.
Want your own room? There's only one option. The VIP tier, $3,199 Australian dollars. That gets you an ocean view, a goodie bag, and a photo with Meghan. Now, here's where it gets even more uncomfortable. A 7 News reporter, Ariana, a real paying customer, bought a ticket for $2,699. No special access, no media badge, just a normal booking. She asked a simple question: can I keep my own room? Then she requested a tax invoice. That's when everything changed. Organizers suddenly realized she worked in media. Her ticket was refunded immediately.
She's never sold, 100,000 quid's worth of jam, quite frankly.
No way.
It's embarrassing. It's really embarrassing. And I see that she's off to Australia. She's copyrighted the As Ever brand, and she's going to land in Australia and she's going to get booed because people hate the woman. She's ghastly. She's toxic. She's horrible. She's ruined a young, once promising man who's now a husk of his former self, who cannot even stand up for.
And her access revoked. The reason? No media permitted. But here's the issue. There was zero mention of that restriction at the point of sale. No warning, no disclosure, nothing. Ariana documented the entire situation, emails included, in 7 News magazine on April 9th, and at the same time, another shift. The sold-out narrative started slipping. Back in mid-March, the website claimed ticket allocation was fully exhausted. Now, the wording quietly changes. Direct quote, "A handful of additional rooms just released. That's not sold out anymore." That's a pivot. Now, this is where things start to feel off.
There's no excitement, there's no build, and it's almost like they don't want to be associated with her, with Meghan Markle, because it's really bad for their brand.
A Reddit user spotted it first. The wording on the site, practically begging people to sign up. At the same time, others noticed something else. Those exact retreat dates had been blocked out on the Intercontinental's own booking system for weeks, which suggests something important. That room block may not have fully sold in the first place. Think about what that actually implies. You're paying over 2,600 Australian dollars, flying into Sydney, and then a stranger walks into your room like, "Hey, looks like we're sharing?" And if you happen to work in media, you don't even get that far. You're refunded and shown the door. That's not empowerment. Now, let's be honest. Empowerment doesn't come with a shared bed and selective access. At that point, it starts to look less like a retreat and more like a controlled meet and greet. And that control?
Gwyneth Paltrow's Besties event, which was in 2023. It's basically an influencer blackout. Now, the difference, the contrast with Meghan is the fact that there is nothing. I am shocked. There is no excitement. There's no build-up. There's no one willing to break their silence, anyone of note, to say that they're actually going to the event.
It's exactly what people started questioning. Now, with all of this building, the petition, the pricing tiers, the financial reports, the journalist situation, the Sussex camp finally responds March 26th. Daily Mail breaks the statement first, and then every outlet picks it up. Here are the exact words from their spokesperson. "It's a moot point. The trip is being funded privately, so I'm not sure what this petition hopes to achieve." All right? But then comes the part that really stands out. Stay with this because the framing matters. If you wanted to dive into the ridiculousness of this petition as an agenda for spreading misinformation, then one could equally hypothesize that there are approximately 26.5 million Australians, 99.98% of the population, who haven't signed it.
Morning yoga classes, sound healing, a manifestation session. What the hell is that? What's going on, Samara?
Meghan is trading trash for cash at this point. I mean, seriously, she is.
Who must therefore agree with the taxpayer picking up the tab. And of course, that is another equally stupid assertion to make. Read that again carefully. They mock the petition by saying most Australians didn't sign it, then immediately admit that using that logic would be equally stupid. So what does that actually leave you with? Not a clear defense, just a dismissal. And that's the part people are still reacting to. That response? It wasn't neutral, it was a sarcastic jab, written by a professional communications team and aimed directly at over 40,000 people who had already taken the time to sign that petition. And the reaction came fast. Beyond Australia replied the very next morning with one line, "Silence does not equal consent." Short, but it lands. Then more voices step in. Tom Bower, royal biographer speaking to the Daily Telegraph, Sydney, didn't hold back.
Questions are being asked about the appropriateness of this visit to Australia now. There's a cost of living crisis, and yet there you go, Meghan is swanning around like a Z-list or Z-list celebrity, as you say in America, charging money for selfies, essentially, at this Sydney retreat, where people are paying thousands of dollars and so forth. They clearly realise that they have no other role in life. There's nothing else that they can really do except for ape the monarchy, but they were supposed to have separated themselves from the monarchy.
Meghan is doing it for money. It's rather grubby. She's monetizing her royalty, which I think is pretty shabby because she promised the Queen she wouldn't do that. Strong words and very direct. At the same time, PR analyst Maya Riaz told The Mirror, at a time when they're facing criticism around relatability and authenticity, attaching her name to a high-ticket exclusive event feels totally tone-deaf. Now here's the part that should have raised alarms. The petition on its own, it likely would have slowed down around 5,000 signatures. That's how these things usually go. But it didn't stop there, because the moot point statement, that acted like fuel. From the moment it dropped, the count jumped by roughly another 5,000 names. So instead of shutting the story down, it amplified it. That's the misstep. Now one last detail, and this one matters. From leaked operational planning notes shared with select media on April 9th by Liam Maguire, the Sussex's chief communications officer. One clear instruction: no walkabouts in Australia, not in Sydney, not in Melbourne, not in Canberra, none. And the reason? Straight from the document: security costs tied to public order. Concerns? Referencing their 2018 tour, which was state-funded.
These two cretins literally accused the British royal family of institutional racism as Prince Philip lay on his deathbed as the late Queen Elizabeth II was battling bone cancer. Prince William will never forgive them, and you want to bring them back to us at a time, by the way, when their charity ventures have failed, when their business ventures have failed, when they've been dumped by Netflix.
Back then, they completed 76 engagements across 4 countries in just 16 days. This time, a very different approach, and people are noticing. Think back to 2018, Sydney Opera House, Bondi Beach, Dubbo, Melbourne, every stop, free events, thousands showed up every single time. People weren't just watching, and they were emotional. There's that moment everyone remembers. A 5-year-old boy, Luke Vincent, hugging Harry on camera. That image stuck. It became part of Australia's memory. Now jump to 2026. And look at the contrast. This time, it's a privately funded trip. And according to the operational notes shared by Liam Maguire, the itinerary looks very different. A children's hospital visit, one Invictus Australia event on Sydney Harbour, a women's homelessness shelter, an AFL club appearance in Melbourne, a rugby match in Sydney, and a brief stop in Canberra. Without Meghan. And notice what's missing: the retreat. It's not even listed. Maguire's own team treated it as a completely separate commercial event and left it off the official plan entirely.
Hit back furiously, saying, no. Okay, 32,000 people have signed this petition, but 25 million Australians haven't. So therefore, they're very popular. When they get to Australia, those two, they are going to get booed.
That separation, it matters, because at the center of all this is one question, and it keeps coming up from every angle. Tom Bower, Beyond Australia, 7 News, even everyday people watching this unfold. They're all asking the same thing. Who is paying for what? The petition focuses on security. The retreat raises questions about lifestyle and revenue. And the official answer from the Sussex camp? It's private. But when you line everything up, the timelines, the pricing, the reports, that answer doesn't fully settle it. Now look at the bigger picture. In 2018, Harry and Meghan arrived in Sydney, and the country ran toward them. In 2026, they're arriving to a petition that says, "We don't want you here." At the same time, a retreat run by an organizer whose separate company owes over $500,000 to the tax office. A keynote event that introduced lower-priced tickets just days before it starts. and an operations plan that makes one thing clear. The public isn't part of this. No walkabouts, no open access, no crowd moments. That's a completely different model. Call it what you want, but it's not a traditional royal tour anymore. It's something else. And here's the reality. None of us were in that room on March 26 when that moot point statement was written. Everyone is working from the same public information, SIC filings, change.org numbers, media reports, and when you put it all together, it doesn't give you one clean answer, it gives you a story, and that people are still trying to figure out. What we're looking at here isn't guesswork. This is built on public record, verified reporting, and statements made on the record. News coverage? Tom Bowers quotes, "The Grant Thornton creditors report, the information is out there. The real question isn't what we do with it. It's what Archewell does with it, because that's where things actually move." Now, if this kind of breakdown is what keeps you watching, the next part goes even deeper, because buried inside that February 24th Grant Thornton report is something we didn't fully unpack today. A 7-figure commission payment, and according to the administrators themselves, no contract, no documentation, no clearly stated purpose. That's not a small detail, that's a major gap. And here's where it connects. Tom Bowers' betrayal talks about similar patterns in a completely separate context. Put those side by side, and the picture starts to look a lot heavier. That next video, it goes straight into that detail. So if you want the full breakdown, make sure you're subscribed, because the receipts, they always find their way back.